The Djinn. Now, the Djinn is a supernatural, paranormal idea in the sense that we haven't figured out fully what it is yet, that I'm actually comfortable with. As you know, I don't believe in the whole aliens thing. That's a load of nonsense. It's mostly been, well, it's all been invented by a combination of Hollywood and the US military. That's why you've had things like Roswell pushed in your face for years. They want to try and make out during the Cold War and even now that somehow US military had access to alien technology. This is why groups like MUFON are always heavily involved with former Minister of Defense people, and they're always bringing forward cops and policemen and military people as credible resources. When in reality, we know most policemen are idiots who they saw a balloon, they wouldn't know what it was. And the military resources ones, Philo, be quiet, that's my cat Philo, he wants to be on the video. They also, maybe he is a Djinn. They're also telling lies to keep this myth of the alien visitation going. That's like a modern religious control mechanism, just like channeling. All this stuff of fourth density beings, and that's all bullshit. Now, but I do believe that people, when they're talking about seeing aliens and UFOs and ghosts and poltergeists, they're telling the truth. And the Djinn thing covers it, and I'll tell you why. I believe that there's a massive amount of literature in the Islamic world that really points to everything from alien visitation to poltergeist to everything. And they talk about the Djinn. Now, they talk about the Djinn in an interesting way, that it's almost like another form of consciousness that we can't understand that plays tricks on us. Very interesting stuff. And that, so, for instance, suppose you saw a Djinn, whatever a Djinn is, right? Suppose you saw one. Our consciousness is not able to understand or comprehend what this creature is, or this being is. That we invent an angel, a demon, a witch on a broomstick, a UFO spaceship, an alien, in order to try and comprehend what we're looking at. Because our consciousness can't figure it out. And it's always grounded, you ever notice, within contemporary ideas. So, for instance, if people saw strange things in the skies in the Middle Ages, they were witches on broomsticks, or they were devils. If they see them today, they're cigar-shaped objects, they're flying saucers, they're aliens, they're reptilians, just like the ones on the VTV show, which gave birth to the modern idea of reptilians, shapeshifters. It's all rooted in Hollywood and fantasy, and the intelligence services know there's something more to human consciousness. They know that there are other ideas and other ways of looking at things out there, but they don't understand them either. So they play, just like the churches in the past played on the demons and witches and monsters myth, right? To create tulpas. What tulpas are manifestations of tortured consciousness, or incredible concentration that create a being or an object or a supernatural mythological creature. And in the past, they would have told them it was dragons, demons, angels. And this is what those people would have been seeing. Today, we're told they're aliens, spaceships, and that's what we see in our heads. Because that's how they rationalize it. They need a groundwork to frame it into. It's really interesting stuff. Now, and I also think, when I see things like Baalbek or the pyramids and incredible technological achievements of the past, a part of me wonders if the ancient people were able to harness this sort of telepathic or telepathic mindset to create tulpas that could lift the stones at Baalbek, that could actually construct these incredible things. We have no idea how they built them. Now, it's not necessarily supernatural. It's just a different form of technology, utilizing consciousness or sound or whatever. But you do wonder if that's what they did. So I think that's one of the reasons that they don't want us knowing about the Djinn stuff, and that could have a lot to do with the fact of why they want us to hate the Muslim world. Because if you go to the Muslim world and talk to Muslims and talk about UFO, it's all Djinn, it's all Djinn. And that is now confirmed across many folklores. Like when the Irish said fairies, they weren't talking about Tinkerbell. But they weren't talking about they were talking about another form of consciousness on this planet that our minds can't rationalize. It plays tricks on us. This is why they're always referred to as tricksters. So now people say to me, oh, Thomas, you're very negative about this whole, you're not very close-minded about the paranormal stuff. I'm not. I'm very open-minded about it. But I'm not so open-minded that my brain fucking falls out. I keep an open mind and try and look for ways and other methods of it. I don't watch a Discovery program, show. I'm a Fortean. I'm a classic Fortean. Okay, I don't watch a Discovery show showing a little plastic alien at Roswell talking to a U.S. general and then taking myself, it really happened, because that's a form of visual neuro-linguistic programming to make you believe this. So Rosemary Ellen Guiley has a very good book. I think it's called The Vengeful Djinn. And I want you to study about the Djinn, and then I want you to think about it, and then think about what the Islamic world thinks of this other form of consciousness on this planet that may be related to us or not. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. But that's what I'm comfortable with right now. The only supernatural, paranormal thing that I can grasp, that I can actually say, okay, I'm interested. It's obviously not invented by Hollywood. It's not invented by the intelligence services. It definitely seems to have a canon that extends across multicultural paradigms, and that's a very good, like the psychopaths, they're werewolves, they're vampires, they're the allegories across different cultural frameworks are so useful to let you get a big picture. In fact, they're more useful than reading bloody UFO books or David Icke books about reptilians and the moon and all that. You must study, folks. A 10-minute YouTube video with dun 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 music and a picture of a newscaster and a bad rasterization of the video showing their faces breaking up is not proof of reptilians. It's not. Okay, it's not proof of anything. But there is something going on. Okay, and this is why and this is the same thing with the archons thing. Don't be too quick to pin down a name and a meaning. The only reason I picked the Djinn thing is it's a very common name and it's useful, but you can call them anything you want. So study the Djinn, look into the idea, keep your mind open, but don't make sure your bloody brain falls out, okay? And don't listen to people who say, oh, it's definitely this and definitely that, because they don't have a fucking clue either.